Okay, let's start. Okay. So sociology, as you know, sociology means social means society from the Greek term, and logos means science. So it deals with the study of human relationship and human behavior for a better understanding of the patterns of human life. Which means it's just deals with the human behavior, how we behave and how we act in the society. So society is a group of individuals drawn together by a common bond of nearness and who act together in general for achievement of certain common goals. For example, you as a batch of MBA students, you're also considered as a society because you are all here to study MBS and to become a doctor. So the individual needs of the group, not necessarily a particular group or always the same group, means you are here as a group of individuals for MBBS, but all your needs may not be fulfilled by this group. So you have certain other groups like you may have your group of friends. Okay, so different groups are needed for different purposes, and these comprise the social organizations. So social organization means social groups to which people belong are the family. The kinship means the relatives, and caste, religion, village, town, city, or the state. Okay. So besides these, there are certain other functional groups such as the panchayat, the clubs, and various associations. So family, this is the important part of this chapter is family. Are you all hearing me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Am I clear or
Yes, sir.
is my voice clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. The family is it is the primary unit in all societies. Okay. Family means is a group of biologically related individuals living together and eating from the common kitchen. Okay. And the term family differs from household. Means household means all the members of the household may not be relatives by blood. Example, servants may be included, so that's a household. A family means they are biologically related and they eat from a common kitchen. Okay. So it is the basic biological unit in the family. Comprise the family members share a pool of genes. Means your parents, grandparents, they are all related by genetically. And it is a social unit. Means they share a common physical and social environment. Okay. And as a cultural unit, the family reflects the culture of the wider society, which forms a part and determines the behavior and attitude of its members. There are two ways of family. The family of origin means the family into which a person is born, and family of procreation means the family which one sets up after marriage. Okay? So they both are similar, but one is where you are born, and the family of procreation means after you are married. When the family you form when after you are married and you have your own children. Okay? That's family of procreation. And family of origin means where you are born. Okay? This is the important part of the family life cycle. This is important for your Viva as well as your practical examinations, and it may be in your MCQs also. Okay, so there are six phases of family life cycle. First is formation, and you have to remember the beginning and the end of the phase. So formation means beginning is marriage, and the end of formation is the birth of the first child. Okay, so when the first child is born, it is known as extension. Extension means the beginning is okay. So formation means the family life cycle. There are six phases. Formation, the beginning is marriage. So when you get married, it is the formation of the family, and when you have the first child, it is like extension. Okay, and the birth of the last child means the end of extension or complete extension. Okay, complete extension means from the birth of your when your last child is born, it is complete extension. And contraction means when the first child leaves home, or usually in our society, the children don't leave their parents' home, but in case they do, or in the Western countries, contraction means when the first child leaves home and has their own family. And complete contraction means after the last child has left home of the parents when they form their own families. Okay, and dissolution means it is the end of the family cycle when the first spouse dies, either the husband or the wife. And the end of the dissolution or the complete end of the cycle is when the death of the survivor or the last either the husband or the wife they die. After the end of that is the complete dissolution. Okay. So classification of family, there are various types of classification. So on the basis of authority or power, they are either patriarchal or matriarchal, means either the mother or the parent, depending on the who is the dominant. Okay. And on the basis of number and size, they're nuclear, joint or extended, and three generation family. Okay. So matriarchal means in which the family is centered around the female or the mother or the woman member is the who is in control of the family is matriarchal, and patriarchal means where the father or the male member is the control is the controller of the family. Okay. So on the basis of types of number and size of family, they are nuclear, joint, and three generation family. Okay. So nuclear is the most common and the universal in all human societies. It consists of the married couple and their children while they're still dependent. Means when until they are not married. Okay, when they get married, that is becomes extended family. So only the married couples means the husband, wife, and their children, as long as they are dependent or they are not married. Okay, so usually in this type of family, the husband is usually the dominant one, and there is absence of grandparents, uncles, all other relatives are absent, and the negative part of this type of family is there will be a burden of raising the children on the parents. So new families is applied. The term new families is applied to those married couples who are less than 10 years of married and consist of the parents and children. Okay, so the new term new families is important in terms of family planning because those are the couples who are in most need of the family planning services. Okay, so joint family means it consists of married couples, their children, and those who live in the same household. Okay, so all the men are related by blood, and the women of the household are their wives, unmarried girls, widows, and the likes. Okay, so all the properties is held in common means usually in this type of family, all the property, all the earnings of all the members are kept in a common purse, and all the expenditure is also common. Okay, so the usually the authority is the male member of the family, and in this type of family, they have primacy or means they have more security over personal relations, and union is strength uh, is the strength of this type of family means they're extended and they feel more secure. If you have any questions, you can just ask or you can ask at the end. Okay. So three generation family. These are usually common in the West. Means it is like a joint family, but the main difference is that there are three generations. Means the parents, the grandparents, and their children and their children. Okay, so usually there is no like uncles, aunts. There's no brothers like that. But usually only the three generations means the grandparents, their children, and their children by direct descent. So there are some vulnerable groups within the family, such as infants and children, adolescent, pregnant or lactating women, orphans, or elderly people, and those with special needs like handicapped, alcoholic, drug abuse. Okay, these are the vulnerable members within the family. So there are some functions of the family. As you know, function means residence. Okay, residence, division of labor, reproduction and bringing up of children, socialization, economic functions, and social care. This means residence means the the family provides a clean and decent homes for its members. So usually in the Western society, when a man is married, he usually separates from his parents and sets up his own home. But in our part of the world, in Nepal, India, or Bangladesh, or this side of the world, it is usually customary that the married couple, the children, when they get married, usually the sons they stay in their parents' home, and the women which the son marries, they come to the man's house. Okay, so in either case, the family provides a place where they can stay and live their life. Okay, so that's one of the function of family. The next is division of labor. As you know, the when there's in the primitive societies, the male and female had separate and distinct functions, such as the male usually had was the uh, was the one who earned a living and supported his family, and the female had the responsibility for the day-to-day care of the children and running the household, like cooking, washing, cleaning, like that. But at present, in the industrialized world, there is less marked distinction between the men and women, so that both share the division of labor, like both earn and both take care of the children and running the household. Okay, so and there is no distinct function of the man and woman. So reproduction and bringing of the children means this is another important function of the family, uh, as the reproduction and children is important to for the continuation of the generation. So it's usually the mother who takes care of the children and the infant up to a certain age, like until they are married, and usually the father provides education and teaches the children the social tradition and customs. But again, these functions are not distinct for male and female at present. So both have their own part in bringing up the children. Next question is socialization, or the family is that family acts as a bridge between generation. Means the traditions and the traditions, like eating habits, dressing, speech, language, behavior, attitudes. These are all uh, transferred from generation to generation, either from the grandparents to the parents and their children. So the important function of the family is to teach the children the behavior and attitudes and the culture from one generation to other. So another function is economic function. Okay, the family implies economic partnership for the family and the progeny, means the children they depend on the parents for the economic for the economy and all the inheritance, like property, certain kind of property, and they are usually handed down from the parents to the children. Okay, and the another function is social care, means the family gives status to the society to its members. So and they also protect the members from insult, means family they usually protect one another, like the parents protect their children, and the brothers and sisters they protect each other, and also regulate the marital activities of its members, means they have some certain restrictions, like what age to get married, how many children to have, and things like that. Okay, so regulation of certain extent, and certain extent, like political and religious social activities, although at present it is said that everyone has their own independent they are all independent, and they can have their own views regarding politics, religion, and other social activities. But usually things like politics and religion are also common in a family, and they all share the common belief and common social activities. And regulating sex relations, like incest and taboos, these are common in this part, in the eastern part, in Nepal, India, like that. Okay, these are restricted. So the next topic is family in health and disease. Okay, so family is important in terms of health and disease, because so certain disease, certain health condition and disease are related to the behavior of family. Okay, so the topics covered are the child rearing, socialization, personality formation, care of dependent adults, stabilization of adult personality, family susceptibility to disease, broken families, and problem families. Okay, so child rearing means it is the way in which child rearing is undertaken differs from society to society, time to time, and from generation to generation, depending on factors such as resources, level of knowledge, technology, and system values. Means the way in which a family raised the children is not always the same everywhere and all the time. Okay, so previously in the in the way in which you were raised was different from the way in which your parents or grandparents were raised, and again the way you raise your children will be totally different from the way you were raised or your parents were raised. Okay, so depends on time to time and society, and the resources you have, the level of knowledge and technology and system. Another is socialization. Okay, so teaching the young the values of society and transmitting information, culture, beliefs, general codes of conduct by example and percept, in order to make them fit for a membership in the wider society of which the family is part. It means the way you teach your children what the information, the culture, the beliefs you teach them uh, will either make them fit or unfit for the society. Okay, so personality formation. Okay, the personality of the capacity of it means the personality formation of a person is depends from early childhood. Okay, as you can see in the picture, the resulting mindset or the personality depends on the way you are raised or the parental activities, your DNA or genetics, environmental factors, and self-determination. Okay, so the one of the most important part is the parental activities, means the way you were raised. Okay, how your parents raised you, how what they taught you. These that is the most important things that forms your personality. Okay, so a child's personality depends mainly on his family, because it is said that the family is the first school and the parents are the first teachers. Okay, so the care of another part is the care of the dependent adults. Usually, the adults are dependent on children or those who earn. Okay, so the care of the sick and injured, and the women during pregnancy and childbirth, and care of the aged and handicapped. These are important aspects of family health or stabilization of the personal adult personality. Means so the family acts as like a shock absorber. Means the family support each other in terms of stress and strains, and these stress could be like injuries, illness, birth, death, any emotional upset, anxiety, economic insecurity. Okay, these are all stress of life. Okay, these are all part of stress of life, and if you have a family support each other, these can be stabilized, or um, these can be undertaken easily. Okay, the stress of modern living has increased the importance of mental illness. So mental illness is also another part of family health. Means if there's any stress, some might have some mental illness, and these needs to be addressed by the family. So the family is as an important function in the stabilization of the personality of both adults and children. So family susceptibility to disease. Because as you know, some disease like hemophilia, color blindness, diabetes, mental illness are known to have family incidents, or they are passed from generation to generation. Okay, and other diseases like communicable disease like tuberculosis, common cold, scabies, diphtheria, measles, mumps, etc. These spread rapidly in families because of the common environment they share. Okay, usually the children are most susceptible to these communicable disease as they play with each other, and they have and the family share a common environment, the house, the kitchen, bedroom. Okay, so communicability is an important communicability is an important aspect in which the family are most susceptible. And some congenital malformation is higher among consanguineous marriage. Means like usually in the Muslim communities and in the Kurd communities in Nepal, it is common to get married to relatives like uncles, like cousins, and consanguineous means married to the cousins. Okay, cousins, and these result in congenital malformations. Okay, so it is common in Groom families, Groom communities in Nepal, and also in Muslim community. Uh, so next is the broken family. Broken family means where the parents have separated, or death of one parent has one of the or the both parents have occurred. A broken family is one where the parents have separated, or death of one or both parents have occurred. So usually children who are victim of these types of families have show in the later years psychotic behavior and immature personality, and also they have retardation in growth, speech, and intellect. And usually these are the children who show childhood delinquency and vagrancy and become like criminals. Okay, or any antisocial behavior. So it is important that the parents live together, and they are not separate. Okay, so divorce is not very common in Nepal, but at present it is also increasing the rate of divorce. Okay, so this is which is not ideal for freezing the children, and that's why it's also increasing. There's increasing of criminal activities among children. So next is the problem families. Problem families means those who lag behind the rest of the community. As you can see in the picture, they are to meet the demands of the children. Okay, so usually the factors which cause the problem families are personality and relationship between the parents, poverty, illness, okay, marital disharmony. So these are factors which cause problems in families. So problem family means those who lag behind the community, and they are unable to meet the needs of the children. Okay, so you have to remember the difference between the problem families and broken families. So the next part is cultural factors in health and disease. Okay, So usually like concept of etiology and cure. Okay, so previously there are two types of etiology, supernatural cause such as wrath of gods like chickenpox. Okay, usually the chickenpox was said to be curse from the gods, and breach of table like venereal disease like skin disease was thought to be occurred due to when people usually have sexual relation with lower class female or male. Okay, and past sins like leprosy, disease like leprosy and tuberculosis was thought to be due to the consequence of their past sins of their past life, and evil eye like effect on children. Like people think that they have some people have evil eye, and the children are more prone to this evil eye. And spirit and ghost intrusion like hysteria and epilepsy was thought to be due to spirit and ghost intrusions like that. So another concept is physical, like effect of weather, water, and impure blood. I think you know about this. So next, environment sanitation. Environment sanitation means disposal of human excreta, disposal of waste, water supply, and housing. So these are all depend on the family, like where you have the toilets, whether it's inside or outside, how you dispose the waste, the type of water supply, whether it's clean or unclean, housing, type of house, katsa house, pakka house. These all affect the family and the health of the family. Okay, so as you know, the poverty will cause those who are poverty or illiterate, they have more prone to illness, and those who are well off have a clean water supply, is proper disposal of waste and proper housing. They will have a healthier life and less prone to disease and infections. So this is just, I think, this is just a revision of the five Fs. First is the feces, and this is called as the sanitation barrier. So the finger, fomites, flies, fluids, and foods, they will transmit to a new host. Okay? Food habits. This is also food habits. It has a deep psychological roots and associated with love, affection, warmth, self-will, and social prestige. Okay, the type of foods people eat also depend on their society, on where they are born, the family. Okay, and food is subject to widespread customs, habits, beliefs, which vary from country to country and from one region to another. Okay, so the type of foods we eat depend on where we are born, which country or which place, and what religion we follow, and these also have some impact on the health and disease of the individual. Okay, mother and child. So the mother and child is surrounded by a wide range of customs and beliefs all over the world, okay, especially in this part or the Nepal, India. Okay, there are some like good, bad, unabundant, uncertain. Like good practices like prolonged breastfeeding, oil bath, massage, and exposure to sun. These are thought to be good practices for mother and child. Okay, and bad practices like food taboos after delivery. Usually, in some parts of Nepal and India, it is said that there are some certain food restrictions after woman gives birth to a child. Like they are said to not eat meat or vegetables. Okay, which are not true, and they are bad for the health of both mother and child. And certain practices are unimportant, like punching the ear and nose, application of oil. Okay, so these are not important. And uncertain features uh, like putting of kajal. Okay, these are not uncertain, and these are not whether they are good or bad. It is not certain. Okay, and personal hygiene means oral hygiene, like the people they either use toothbrush, ash or charcoal also they are using in Nepal also. So bathing is also bathing naked is said to be taboo. Okay, shaving. So some people, some of the traditional knives or barbers, they use unsterile instrument. So these also can transmit some diseases. And smoking, sleep, wearing shoes, circumcision. These are all personal hygienes which differ from religion to religion or place, and these also have some effect on the health. Like when like some people sleep on the floor, which exposed to insects, and some people they don't wear shoes like in the village, and they may be exposed to hookworms. And circumcision is a practice usually among Muslims and Catholics. So these also have positive and even negative effects on the children. And lastly is sex and marriage. So sexual customs vary from different societies, social religion, and ethnic groups. So, for certain religions, menstruation is a time of uncleanness, and women are forbidden to pray or have intercourse during their menstrual cycle. And monogamy is the most universal form of marriage, which means only one marriage. Polygamy means marriage of one man with several women, and polyandry means marriage of several women with one woman. Means one woman is married to several men, is polyandry, and one man married to several men is polygamy, which is acceptable in some societies and unacceptable in others. So this is all for today. If you have any questions, well, it's not a disadvantage. No, like disadvantage. It's just illegal in some part. Like in Nepal, it's illegal. Polygamy and polyandry is illegal, but some people are doing it, and some people are living, like polygamy.